Natasha.
Yes.
So, guys, attempt number 100 to start on time. We are 15 minutes.
You have to explain properly.
I'm about to.
Okay,
give me the opportunity.
All right,
You continue putting your eyes on. So attempt number, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, attempt number 100 to start on time. It's now actually 16 past because of your interruption. You've given me an extra minute to add on. 16 past. We should have started 16 minutes ago. And then Natasha's here removing her eyes and putting on her eyes. And now she's charging her phone.
You have to explain. I want to be a lawyer.
Not that we are lawyer, but bagu lawyer. Ngokuphuza. So what happened today?
No, traffic, man. Like, literally, the pandemic is so over. I miss,
It is.
like, pandemic time traffic where, like, you just cruise through. Manje Katesi, you...
I don't know. I know you say that, but I have not seen a difference. Like, it takes me an hour. It's every time, unless we are starting a bit later. If we're starting at 8, then maybe it would take me 40 minutes. But it takes me an hour. Like, for 6, it takes me an hour to get here.
Do you use the M25?
No.
What
I
do you
use
use?
the A46.
But that's... Because I use the A12.
But it's just...
the A roads are usually busy. But the A46 has more lanes, though. Does it not?
But there was literally... there's 2 lanes and then it goes into 3 lanes and something. Anyway, here we are, guys. Episode
So I was putting on my contact lenses.
Episode 10, when Natasha is late. But really, it's episode 7. Hey, guys. Anyway, now I'll start saying that is episode whatever when we go into the 80s because the 7.
I think this is going to be 77. Oh my God! 77! What a...
Yeah. So, episode that of Girl in Skies podcast with me.
God?
No, come on.
We can remix it, guys.
With me, Xolie. And I sometimes...
And me, Natasha.
It's
I'm so
confused.
God.
I sometimes... Oh, God. Like, what?
Start again.
Okay, so... Guys, welcome to our episode, Girl in Skies podcast with me, Xolie.
And me, Natasha.
I sometimes go by Michelle.
I sometimes go by Nat.
So weird.
Me, Xolie, or and Xolie.
I don't know. How do we say it normally? To say it.
I normally say, welcome to Girl in Skies podcast with me, Natasha.
And Xolie.
Okay, so you say and Xolie.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I sometimes go by Nat.
I sometimes go by Michelle.
Yes, Michelle, wagwan.
Wagwan, what's happening?
Nothing much getting settled. What's going on?
Have you put your eyes on?
Yes.
Do you know I cannot, that's one thing that I can't handle. Like
What
eyes.
contact lenses?
Yeah, I can't, if someone is putting them on or taking, I can't look.
A lot of people are a bit squeamish when it comes
Squimsy
to
is fine. Is that a Zimbabwean?
I don't know. Is it a word?
Squimsy. I never had it.
A lot of people are quite squeamish
Yeah.
about it. But yeah, I do wear contact lenses.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is...
Is it not just easier than to wear glasses? Like
oh my God. So have you ever asked me this question?
I probably have.
Right,
Because
okay.
it upsets me to see people messing around with their eyes.
So it's so funny because when I was coming here, I had so many issues with my contacts because actually it was my first time on the tube, on the underground, which I haven't been in a very, very long time. And it was so uncomfortable, just being in close proximity with everyone. So let me explain. Okay, so I wear contact lenses. Generally, there are 2 types of contact lenses. You have soft contact lenses and hard contact lenses. Most people...
I know.
God, behave.
Anyway, carry on.
So most people, so if you wear glasses to correct your vision, most people can alternate that with soft contact lenses, right? So most people, when you see them saying, "Oh, sometimes I wear glasses, sometimes I wear contact lenses," they'll be wearing like the soft ones. So literally,
I
the
see.
material it's soft,
Flexible.
right? Hard contact lenses, literally, it's like glass, right?
So is that what you prefer?
No. Let me explain.
So, okay.
So the reason I wear hard contact lenses is because I need to to say this properly because I never like saying I have something because it is not mine.
Oh, I see.
It
Okay.
is not mine.
Mm-hmm.
So the optometrist, whatever,
Mhm.
and ophthalmologist
Mhm.
say that basically I have what's called keratoconus, right? So keratoconus is
Sounds dangerous.
so keratoconus is affects your cornea, right?
Mm.
So it means that your cornea is weaker, and it means in lay terms the shape of your cornea is shaped like a rugby instead of a football.
Oh, okay.
So like pointed,
Yeah.
like instead of a football.
Yeah,
right?
it's a round.
So the reason you wear hard contact lenses, so with keratoconus, there's different levels to it. You can have very mild, which means you can still wear glasses and it's fine.
Mm.
And as it progresses, then a lot of people wear hard contact lenses. So what a hard contact lens does. So imagine you are trying to conform the shape of your cornea to a soccer ball. So that's why you wear hard contact lenses, so that it conforms the shape. So with me, for a very long time, when I started having issues like with my sight, I remember I went to Specsavers. When I tell you the thickness of the glasses that they
Really?
prescribed me, you'd be like, but it didn't really make sense because without anything, like I could see. So it wasn't an issue of like being short-sighted or long-sighted or like the traditional. So it's only when I went to another another eye doctor, so my personal experience with these like big brands is, they don't care. They just want to give you the glasses, right? But these ones, they're like, no, go to an eye clinic. So I ended up going to like Whipps Cross. So like in London, for example, there's Moorfield Eye Hospital, which is like the main one.
Yeah.
And then they went and they were like, okay, this is what, so you have hard contact lenses. So yeah, and then some people, like the severe ones, they actually end up getting like cornea transplants. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So it's a thing that affects. Let me Google it. So actually, it's funny that you mentioned it, because I've always thought to myself, ish, if I had been in Zim, I wonder if I would have had, like, if I would have got the right interventions for this. Because actually, and that's why, do you know some people, have you met some people who squint all the time? It possibly could be keratoconus, because the reason you're squinting is you're putting pressure on your cornea so that it sharpens your vision, right? So with me, for a very long time, so that's why like contact lenses give me the best vision. Like when I wear the hard contact lenses, and because they are hard and it's like glass, when there's dust or when so you can imagine the irritation against that hard. So it's actually sort of like, so I always kind of have to explain it to people around me, because for a very long time I used to struggle. Like sometimes you see me starting to cry and I would have to explain, I need to get my contacts off and whatever. But then now I fortunately now also have glasses, but I wear glasses like at home to rest. But
why didn't you just eat carrots when you were younger?
No, that's not what it is. It's not it's not it's not it's okay, let me Google it. It's not how, I don't know if you can prevent it. Obviously there's things like maybe like
eating carrots.
No, I mean, yeah, I guess maybe general eye health, right? But things like maybe not rubbing your eyes. That they because I remember one of the questions that they asked me is, "Do you smoke?" And I was like, "No." Let me show you because they actually really don't know what the causes of keratoconus are. It's mostly sort of like genetic. So if there's a family history of it. So here they say, what are the factors that can increase your chances of developing keratoconus? Having a family history of keratoconus, rubbing your eyes vigorously, having certain conditions, such as, you guys can look this up. So I remember I actually even asked my dad one time, and I was like, "How's your sight?" And he was like, "You know what? Like I do have to kind of like squint on it." So I've always thought to myself, "Oh, you know what? When I go to Zim, I may take. I know it's not like the right size. I may take some old contact lenses and just say to him." Can you try this and see
if it works?
If it actually works. So, which is why I'm saying that literally, I believe that there possibly are many people that are just being misdiagnosed and being given the glasses and it's the wrong glasses. So that's why you'll come across people that always have headaches and always have like eye issues just because maybe it hasn't. So one of my wishes is when I do have money or when I have the means is to actually like do something at home around keratoconus and around because they're like the lenses are expensive. Like one is like almost a pair is like £114.
Wow.
And that is under
for
NHS.
the hard ones.
Yeah. So I literally have to always
It's expensive.
So but no, I mean we're not going to talk about that, but hopefully it's helpful to someone. So guys, you can Google it. It's called keratoconus, and like I said, my wish is to at some point do something, but I'm open to kind of like I don't know. I'm sure you can like get in touch with different organizations that do these things and to help people. But so that's so every time people ask you why you don't wear glasses, it turns into a 20-minute.
And it has been.
Yeah.
You started it. Yeah.
But I hope it is helpful.
Indeed. I hope somebody out there is like, who's maybe suffering from it can look up and at least knowing as well. Sometimes it's the knowing that helps to it makes things a little bit better because was.
Exactly. So
and why am I not surprised that you like the hard ones?
Gosh, but no, like you're not going to turn this
condition
sufficiently scientific. I think this is the most scientific you're ever gonna get from me. But no, it was like when it first happened, it was so scary. Apparently, it affects a lot. Like when you're in your 20s and stuff, like a lot of people, that's when it starts. And I remember like it was so funny. Like I could literally over a month, like I could feel the difference.
Oh, really?
In my sight. I remember I was at uni and I was like, what is happening with me? And then like when I was reading up, it was so scary because like people were saying trans. But the good thing is it's, if it's managed, some people manage it just by wearing glasses and it's fine. Some people, they wear soft lenses. Some people, they wear what they call piggyback, 2 contact lenses.
Oh gosh, that's awful.
Yeah. And then and then what that's doing is it's arresting the keratoconus. So like with the hard lens, so with me, like I've had this since when was it? 2008. Yeah. So like it's arrested. So actually even like my last review, they're like, oh, like the vision has improved.
Oh, that's good.
So it is
Okay. Well, thank you for that informative little mini-sode on
keratoconus.
And I think, whilst we're on the subject of Zim, I wonder if we could maybe just talk about, last time on the episode we spoke about, or the question was asked, like, or you asked me, like, would I build or would I buy land in Zim.
Mm-hmm.
And on the Garden Skies page on Instagram, the question was asked, like, would you and wouldn't you?
Mm.
And it was interesting the feedback that we got following that question.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought what would be interesting was just to kind of like look at what is available in terms of purchasing land or building,
Mm-hmm.
because there's a few groups on that I personally have seen on Facebook.
Okay.
Where they are offering like land, buying land as a do you buy land in bulk? But do you know what I mean? Like they buy like 66 hectares and then share
like
it
as a collective.
Yes, that's a much better word, as a collective. And so then finding individuals who are interested. So then for example, if you've got 66 hectares, you are then looking for people to take up 66 hectares. So whether you can buy one, you can buy two, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so you do it as a group. You go in, you put your monies together and you buy the land. And it's not something that I personally have seen through to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that I have been interested in and something that I've looked in. And, there's definitely a market for it, because from what I've seen, people have progressed and bought the land. And what I'm waiting, what I have, the bit that I haven't heard is the title deeds, like saying, what, I've got my title deeds in my hand and I'm now preparing to build or whatever it is. So I haven't seen or heard that bit. But of course, we have seen a lot of things, a lot of people building, a lot of people either just doing farming or whatever it is on this land.
Mm-hmm.
The last I saw was in a Facebook ad, and this was back in December 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Bulawayo stands for sale in Upper Range Moor, close to Mbundani. Is that how you say that?
Entumbani.
No, not Entumbani. Mbundani.
Okay. I don't know. Okay.
Next to Mkanwini. And so the stands had title deeds, services available, borehole water and electricity.
Mm-hmm.
All you needed was $250 and national ID.
To do what?
To get started, right?
Right.
So the 200 meter square piece of land was priced at $6,000. So you needed to deposit $3,000 US dollars, and then so forth and so forth. So the prices increased. So if you wanted a corner stand, for example, at 600 meter squares, I don't know like how big that is. That was $15,000 US dollars. So, and then I think the process is after you have paid up your US dollars, like you've paid the $6,000 US dollars for the 200 meter square, you would then get, they'll put you in touch with architects. So before the architects, they'll put you in touch with a conveyancer, like, to kind of sort out the legal part of things. Then you get your title deeds. And then they can also put you in touch with architects as well. So it was like a bit of a collaboration with people.
So who was this with through?
So Ntwagazi Queens does it. I've seen something similar on
So there's a group called Ntwagazi Queens?
Yeah, it's on Facebook. And
okay.
Exactly. They do it as well. So they do it quite a lot. And you can go on to like WhatsApp groups and stuff to take things further if you're interested.
Yeah. So
it's just, so that's the information that's there, right? That's how you can do it from UK, and I'm assuming it'll be the same in whether you're in diaspora. Actually, it's not even just UK, it's anywhere in the world you can, because you pay in dollars in Zimbabwe. So you pay your money in Zimbabwe, you get, and everything else is done in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Right? So it was just, that is the information that's there. That is how to do it. And now the question that we were asking is, would you do it? So there was a few comments on Instagram of people who are like, you know what, I have tried this. It hasn't worked for me. There was people who were like, the problem is the workmanship is not as up to standard as it should be, you know. So it's, there's just a mix. I don't know if you should read some of the comments.
Yeah, I think we should read some of the comments, but also I think we should make clear that this is the information that's available, but we're not endorsing these people. We don't know them.
No, we are not.
Although I've heard of Xolie, and I've know of people who've been involved in some of their work, but you guys would have to do your own research and satisfy yourselves.
Yeah.
Because sometimes every time it's so funny. Like when I go on Facebook, sometimes Ezra.
Yes.
Like he's always, I don't know, like he's like the Facebook chief. Like
Jan.
Like there'll be always like
Really?
issues, like there's issues with this land that was bought by this group, but these people now don't. I'm like, this is interesting. But no. So I think let me not preempt my thoughts. So let's read the comments.
Yeah, let's read the comments because it's literally and these are, I'm sure there's plenty more people who are offering these services, right? Yeah, but what we are saying is like we're presenting.
Sorry.
We're presenting you the information.
This thing. Oh, sorry. Highlighting. Yeah, go on. Sorry, I was playing a clip from. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
So there's a lot of information out there in regards to this. So we are just presenting you what we have seen, and we just want to have a little bit of a discussion. So some of the comments that were in response to the question, would you buy would you buy land or to build in Zim? So Muse by Mimi said, yes, I would, but only where the title deeds are available. The situation at home can be dodgy. I'll read a couple more. So Pierre was like, not with Operation Murambatswina, it's feta. So Kehla was like, yes, I would. So those are just some.
And then Simbi Janje was like, I would love to, but I can't trust anyone, not even the city council. You could buy and then down the line it was all fake or some other nonsense. It's a pity, really. That's one. And then one tough mass was like, not worth the stress for no returns. And also going back home after 50 plus years is a myth. And then Bex _ the last born was like, so he said the rural land is under the jurisdiction of the chief or Sopu. They give you a huge chunk and you can build whatever under no restrictions. Unless it becomes overpopulated, then government will be forced to subdivide. There are no title deeds as well. The land belongs to the community. You abide by their rules. So go build wherever your ID allows. Visit the chief, ask, and he or she will allocate you most likely near your family homestead. So I think that's the issue about rural land, like, because it's community land. There are no title deeds. So I remember those are some of the comments, like when people were talking about the people that were building a plum tree in like rural areas, that it's fine, because the land has been allocated to you by the chief, but there are no title deeds, which means that if there is a dispute, you don't have the full locusa of the law behind you. Because I'm sure if you have your title deed, it's yours. It's yours. And so there are certain places where, that's fine, which are not under a jurisdiction of the chief, which are not categorized as rural areas. So for me, that would be my hesitation about being in a rural area. But again, you have to go back to the why. Is this just like because I think you really have to go back to the why you purchasing, because maybe if you have the lens that we have in the West, because property is a big investment, so you're also doing it in thinking, it may appreciate in value and all that stuff. But I think you probably, if that's your thinking, then no.
Yes, and there was something along those lines. I think this is Pierre who was like he wouldn't buy because the property market back home is overinflated. He says that there are no market forces that determine prices. I'm just going to cut through this a bit. Um, he says, oh yeah, so I mean that's generally what you're saying. Someone wakes up thinking that I need 500,000, so I'll sell my dilapidated house for that price. Ask them how they came to that price, and they can't explain it. The demand isn't there to drive prices that high. Look across the border and see what you can buy for that kind of money, which is a thing, right? Because with the money that you are buying, again, I've seen houses that are being advertised in Zimbabwe for crazy amounts of money. Like it's not well maintained, and not that they're not all women. There are places that are well maintained, but there are houses that I've seen that are not well maintained. And for that money, you could buy something equally as something better in neighboring South Africa, for example, if the opportunity was there. But he also talks about poor workmanship, at what cost. He mentions this is how you see that someone is out in the diaspora, Pierre. He says you can't get buildings insurance, you can't get he says you can't get latent defect warranties, absolutely no insurance. It's a home, yes, but I can't invest in a country that's so volatile and has so much instability. I think people confuse nostalgia, holiday enjoyment, and real life in Zim. Diasporans say my Zvane will sort me out this. Uzangifaka planning. But of course that always has its own issues.
And then so there was a comment from MJ Wemoto. And these apologies. Sorry guys. So because the question was like, would you buy land? And then he was like, never ever. In a country where property rights are not respected, never ever. And then Afro Mufasa was like, can you please expand? And then he went on to say, gladly, he's like, I'm from Zim and there's a lot that could go wrong there. For starters, you could buy land today and the council or friends of those with connections could deem your purchase illegal and make up some municipal law to support that. This could happen years after all is done. One reason why this happens is some municipal offices make it mandatory that you can never keep your own land title, right? This means someone with access can sell your land over and over to different people without you ever knowing, or you could buy someone's land without ever knowing. In that case, your land and or house on it gets taken away with no compensation or formal process. It happens all the time. Even if that weren't the case, if I built a house and rented it out, I have no credible way of getting rental proceeds out there. I wouldn't be able to access my Zimbabwean bank account. There is no true Zim currency. Using US dollars is illegal. Whatever. And then I said it's so crazy that it also happens with graves.
I saw that. I was shocked.
It's like where if you purchase a plot to be buried, someone at council could sell it to someone else and provide paperwork, etc., without you ever knowing. Graves. If that doesn't deter you from building anything there, I don't know what will. And then it was interesting because Dr. P, Dr. _ Pam one was like, absolutely. I would buy land in Ghana. So and then I was like, oh, like what's the process in Ghana? So it was interesting that someone from Ghana was like, yeah, of course. And then like people from Zim were like, it's hell to the no.
It's interesting because and it's quite refreshing to see that people have also done like their research and that they're looking into it. But that being said, there have been people who have successfully bought land, but we don't hear from them. So I think there's also that bit. There's also that element that we kind of need to hear if there is a good side, because it's an investment, right? Right. Quota is it. I would see it like if I was to buy a home. I'll be looking at it for, when I'm older, and I guess we talked about that whole living in two countries kind of thing, going home. So you want to go home to a place where you can be home, and you can't. Yes, you can stay in hotels. Yes, you can stay with family, but it's nice to have, if you're able to have your own home. But it's just everything else that comes with it. It's everything else that comes with those eggs in that basket. Who's looking after it when you're not home? How are you maintaining it? And all these other things. But it'll be interesting. So guys, if you have got property back home, let us know what the process was like for you, and how are you actually maintaining it? How are you actually doing it? Like, if there's any positive, and I'm sure there are positive stories about this, we want to hear from you.
Yeah. And I think the more I think about it, right, and I think a lot of people sort of articulate it, and actually, interestingly, there's someone who also had asked on Twitter yesterday or something, actually, I think the question was, would you go back home,
right,
type thing, which is a broader question. But interesting, also people were kind of saying, yes, but and then the property thing was coming up as well. And I think the more I think about it is, do I want a place in Zim? I think I said this before. Absolutely, yes. Lami, I don't want to be going home and be going to hotels all the time. I wouldn't want to go to a place that I call home. But I think I would have to be at the position where I really have that additional income that I'm saying, okay, this is I'm not really using it for investment, because if you rent it out in Zim, right, from speaking to people who rent out properties in Zim, they say, to be honest, they don't, especially if they are outside of Zim, they're like, we don't really see the benefit of it, right? And then my levies and all these things that come up. So for me, it would have to literally just be an investment. And then on that point, actually, I reached out to a friend of mine who I know. So he has properties in Zim and SA. So I know, like, a number of years ago, he had invested. So I'll just read out like some of his, because he was supposed to send us a voice note, but because I just wanted to kind of find out from him, like, Uti, okay, so what have been your takeaways from, the investments you made, Zim and SA, right? So he was like, let me see. So he was like, first of all, Zim, man. And then he was like, in Zim, buying a property is only to please family and friends. Unless you are Zim based, a Zim property is not even worth discussing, as the return is irregular and not guaranteed. And then he said with South Africa, he's like, because I think he got some properties as investments. He was like, the return is good, but currently with COVID, with people losing their jobs, and the government like saying that there can't be any evictions, like many landlords are losing out. And then he was like, on average, the South African investment has an annual return of 5 to 8%. So I guess in rental income. And then it's like, oh, property values have appreciated in COVID, which is the same even here in the UK. And then, he was just like, in short, South Africa is a no-brainer if you're in the diaspora, like as a place to invest, to get property. If you really want to have a place at home, he was like, you can get a place in South Africa, and then maybe when you're now ready to go to Zim, sell that South African property and get something in Zim. And then apparently it was like, oh, South Africa also has a 50% financing option for Zimbabweans, whilst in Zim it's cash. Okay. Yeah, it's cash or very expensive mortgages. Right. Whereas I guess like in SA, like it's financing kind of similar to here. So I think it is quite interesting. I'm trying to think if, like, you're right, people should tell us, because I know people who have bought land. I don't know what's, like I said, I know like there are all these Facebook groups where they've done stuff, but actually it'd be interesting to really find out. And I think the people who are actually like killing it are people who are buying the land and using it as like for farming.
Absolutely, because that is food. Where food is, there's life, But yeah, guys, do reach out to us. Just DM us.
But Mina, here's
Here
the
we
thing.
go,
I don't have the patience of being in a. You said there are all these WhatsApp groups, and then remember the first time you said, you pay $250, right? It's to get started.
I think maybe to register or something. Maybe now I'm like your details.
And then what you're going to have is like straddlers, right? Because if you're all coming, it's like trying to do a girls' trip abroad.
Any trip abroad.
5.
Then you go down to then go down to our weight even.
Exactly. So for me, that's kind of like, I'm like, that's my hesitation. But you can never go wrong with land. But I think the issue has to just be being clear about the why and your expectations from it. And also, I was watching this thing. I forgot who was talking. Like, they were saying, you should use an estate agent. Like, you should always use, and you can check. Apparently, there's like real estate agents, Zimbabwe, something like that. There's a place where estate agents have to be licensed. So you can actually check if they are licensed.
Oh, I see.
Because those estate agents, particularly in the urban areas where, there are title deeds, they can check, is the person who's selling the actual person who's selling?
Yeah, or is it?
Exactly. So they can do all the due diligence. But sometimes people try to undercut convincing bills because they are so expensive.
Guys, at some point we need to talk about buying in the UK as well, because that's another story.
But you can never go wrong. It is another story, but
it's just a journey. But for another episode. Just when you mentioned convincing, I was just literally, I was just taken aback at just how much that cost. It's expensive. So like when you can't use stamp duty or all these little searches, and then they'll be like, oh yeah, the flat is in an area where or is it 50 miles within an asbestos something, we need to check asbestos. I'm like, really? Oh, that'll be 50. I'm like, yeah, carry on. Yeah, that would be £50. Oh, by the way, we need to check for water, blah, blah, blah. That'll be £100. So all these extra costs. So you can imagine if you're in Zim, if you're dealing with that from Zim, and I sometimes feel with Zim, it's such a transactional relationship. You're just constantly pumping money,
And that's all I was saying. That's my hesitation. But I guess maybe it's not fair to kind of talk about the two in the same. But with the UK one, oh my God. So what you talk about, it is necessary though. So I made a mistake of not, because you get your lender doing the surveying, right? But in addition, so what experienced buyers do is, in addition to your lender surveying, you get a private surveyor, which is like another £400. Because apparently, like, your lender surveying is that they do what are called basic checks. So like the structural and stuff like that, to check, okay, yes, we can lend to you. The private one, at least, like, they are thorough to the point that you can hold the seller accountable and be like, nah, like, what is up with your flooring? Like, you gotta fix this. What is up with this? Because, like I said, we'll do an episode, because let me tell you the nightmare I had property nightmares of literally money bleeding because all these things are coming up.
Yeah.
Like, and you could have, the £400 would have been a better investment to get that and hold those people and be like, nah, there's damp, there's this. But now when you are, but no, yes, let's do an episode on property development, opportunities. Also, I want someone to explain to me Dogecoin, because people seem to be making money out here. No, not
really?
Bitcoin,
My
Dogecoin.
Yeah.
What? My brother was telling me that no, I talk too much. Let me not.
What was he saying?
No, because I was about to say something and then it's like, no.
Which brother?
Yeah. Anyway, no, it's telling me somebody made a killing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was like, tell them that I am their sister too. So
all right. Okay.
Shout out to Okay. But yeah. No. So guys, let us know what your thoughts are. Also, guys, as we said, if you've had a good experience with investing in Zim, let us know. If you're into property stuff in Zim, actually talk to us. Like, what are the options and stuff?
Dude, maybe we could have you on the pod and have a wider discussion, because, I think it's many people are curious, and out of those curious people, there's people who are really interested in doing it. So reach out to us.
Yes. Okay. Anything else on your mind?
No.
Should we go to the music?
Music.
Okay, so you put your. Let's hold
I have.
this
I don't
one.
remember which ones I've put, but
Flip the music.
is that my choice? Who is it?
Ja.